I'm not too sure actually what to do with this lesson. I found that most of the lessons that have been like super helpful are the ones where I just get get coached in a game. Uh, but
We
since we only have 45 minutes, I don't know what.
we could do a turbo game and then try to
I've never
with
played a turbo game. Is it much different? I mean, I know that it's
it's
quicker, but
it's a lot quicker, and you're gonna make around the same mistakes as you would in a real game. It's just again much quicker.
so how does the turbo game work? I haven't even.
You basically get like double experience and gold, and then you get your own courier.
Oh,
And that courier is like bonus speed, and it automatically flies out to you after 5 seconds, and you can purchase all of the items from the secret shop and the side shop in your own base.
wow,
So it's
gotcha.
um, it's not a real game of Dota, but as far as
Yeah,
coaching
no.
goes, we're gonna run into more than half the issues that you're gonna run into in a real game in
Yeah.
less than half the time.
Alright.
So
Yeah, I'm
if
down.
you want to do that, we can queue up for that now. So we make sure we get as much as we can out of the 45 minutes, and then we can try to go over the replay after the game if we have extra time. My only thing with coaching live games is there's a lot of like micro mistakes that you can do wrong that makes a macro decision I want you to do to go wrong. But if we go over it afterwards, then I can still point it all out.
Gotcha.
So what hero or position are you looking to play in this game?
Probably still position 5. Probably Zeus. Or Crystal Maiden or something like that.
Zeus is not the greatest position 5. What's your MMR?
400, almost 500.
Alright. Yeah, that's it'll probably work in your bracket, but it's not a support in the higher brackets.
Gotcha.
Like if I saw a Zeus in one of my games, I'd be like, alright, easy game, we just fucking won, boys.
Gotcha.
Because he needs items to be able to cast his spells right. Like he wants an Aether Lens and a Kaya, and he's like still squishy even after those 4,000 gold. And then all he provides for the team is damage. Which like why not just have a Venomancer instead or something?
Well, I've been using them. Well, I've been using at least my games more as like to split push from like the back lines with his scepter. So I get that first. I'm pushing the lanes that nobody's in. With a global.
Yeah.
Ability.
I mean, you can do the same thing with a Clockwork,
Yeah.
where he just rocket flares.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's if it's fun and you're enjoying it, like keep at it. Just know that if you climb up some more, it's gonna start working less.
Falling off. Yeah.
Falling
Falling
off.
Gotcha.
Let me mute you, cause I think there's
Okay.
you're bleeding through.
Yeah. Let me. It's
No, I got you muted. It's fine.
okay.
So when you look at your team, what do you see as your team's weaknesses right now?
There's no carry. There's nobody that's like agility can do a lot of damage in a little bit of time.
Yeah, the things that I'm most concerned about are, of course you don't have the carry, but you don't have anyone that can attack buildings or take Roche, and you don't have really that good of lockdown.
Right.
Your lockdown's mediocre. It's kind of good against AM. And then Ogre's is like a 1.5 second stun that he has to be very close for.
Yeah. And my son, that's like no second.
Yeah. Well, yours is like 3 seconds, but you're like dead if you ever cast it on somebody that isn't already out of position. And then the enemy team's problem is they don't have enough supports. So what you guys would want to do this game is try to end the game early.
Gotcha. Okay, wait. So if everybody gets a courier, I buy my courier then.
You don't have to buy one.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So then I'll go... this. They left. Okay.
You could just go for like a windlace or some shit.
Alright.
And yeah, I'd go bottom. Maybe. I don't know. Either bottom or top's fine, yeah. This isn't really like a normal match, so it's hard to say. Oh yeah, also your TP cooldown is shorter in this.
Gotcha.
Did you see that, Lena?
Bot?
Mid.
Oh, no.
She popped up on the minimap for a second. She went and placed a ward on your mid ground. And that's kind of like the only reason she'd pop up there is to place a ward. It's kind of like cheating that I'm telling you, but it's something to watch for. If you ever like see someone just pop up like she did there, it's pretty obvious that they're warding. Here you should try to stay in experience range, but stay out of like range to die.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna try and micro you too much because that gets overwhelming. But you should definitely be using your clarity now if you don't intend to go back to base.
Should I just do this right?
No.
No.
It's not worth it as a support, and you.
Does it cool down super fast for this game?
No.
Okay.
She kind of just showed that they have a ward. I think AM might actually have had vision of you there. But you should be eating your tango. And you should have your tranquils on your quick buy. In case they dive you, it allows you to buy it out. And you should have done that at the beginning of the game.
How do you buy it out, keys-wise?
It depends on what you set it as.
Speaker. I'll have to go look.
And if you press Shift Control and you click another item, it will also go into your quick buy.
Gotcha.
Here you're not really doing too much. I would place the ward. Did you get it? Nice. I would place a ward and go top.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to place the whole time. I'm in trouble. Alright.
Buy out your tranquils and fly them out to yourself. And TP to this top shrine. And then run to the bounty rune. At this point, you can just run up there because you took a while, but yeah, it's fine. And then stack these ogres. Try to stack these ogres and get the bounty rune. The bounty rune's still up, so go get the bounty rune, actually. Either works. I didn't think the bounty rune would still be up. Do you get both? Do you get it? Get it. Nice. Now take it again. It's going to spawn. There you go. And now you should be going for the enemies one. And in this game, I would probably buy drums because you guys need to push early, but you don't really have anyone to push, and drums helps with that a good little bit. And then probably Glimmer Cape. Or Glimmer Cape first would be safer, but it's up to you.
Alright.
There is just kind of like, if you ran straight to him, you would have killed him there.
If I ran straight to him while this was beat him?
Yeah, you TP'd and then you ran like an extra like 5 seconds to get on top of him.
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna push away, and I was.
Well, it's kind of like your Zeus is dead if
If I don't go to.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, if you run straight to him, you're either going to kill him, or he's going to run away and your Zeus is going to be fine. But what you did was like, it'll create a situation where he can kill your Zeus and get away.
Gotcha.
Here you should stop attacking, go get TP, and let your your Tranquils heal you up while the Zeus farms. Go through the trees, yeah. Now go on this AM. If the AM kept going there on the Zeus, you should Glimmer him, but he didn't, so you're good.
Gotcha.
So you shouldn't be auto-attacking here, because your Zeus is the one that needs the farm, and...
I'm just trying to push the tower, because, right now, you said that...
Well, if you keep the lane back, the AM can't come up as well, which is a lot more important than pushing the tower. Because then he has no access to the creeps, as opposed to... he's forced to deal with them. At least at this point. And one thing that I've noticed is you're not really... you need to be using your quick buy a lot more, and you need to be using it more efficiently.
Yeah, I've never used quick buy, so I don't have it on like an auto.
Yeah, I got you. So we need to set that up after this game. Because there's a lot of times where you'll just like stop doing anything for like 15 seconds to mess with your shop or whatever.
Yeah.
Which this game, it's added up to like a whole minute so far, and it's only been 9 minutes in the game. And here you can't really do too much, so I'd go top and try and kill this Fen. He's at your tower, and the ogre's behind him. You should TP top now. Yeah. You should have TP'd more aggressively, but this might be fine because he's staying. Nice. And then you should queue up your drums. First check if anyone else is getting drums. And get the bounty rune that's going to be spawning in a second.
That doesn't look like anybody else is.
You should be headed towards the bounty. Nice. And then go for the enemy's bounty rune. Because you can just glimmer and run away if anyone's going to contest you. And, there you go. And then getting a ward between their shrine and their tier 2 would be really good here. On the high ground.
Right here?
Up about like 300 units. It's like right out of tower range. Down into the... I can just point it out during the replay, actually. Because it's kind of hard to. Can you see my pings?
I can't see your pings, but if you draw on the map, I can see that.
Can you see that?
I'm trying to find it. I need to know where you're...
I'm drawing everywhere. Can you see me drawing? It would be super obvious if you could...
know where you're drawing.
Well, I had the whole map drawn on. So...
No, like, it shows on my map, not the mini map.
Oh, okay.
So I have to...
well, it's right... I don't know if I can do different pings. It's right under the tier 2 top. We can just do it in the replay. But you have the gold for the drums. So I'd buy the drums and buy a TP. And fly that out.
Yeah, how do I buy them without clicking each thing individually? Or I have to
That's a hotkey. Yeah, we can set that up too. And here, your bottom side of the map's pretty dark, and you guys don't look like you're going to be grouping up to push anytime soon. So it would be good if you could try to get a ward above, by their secret shop, on that cliff. Do you know what I'm talking about? Above their bounty rune. Yeah. And you need a TP. You should have got it on the courier when you got the drums.
Alright.
So here, I'd push this out, and then push out the next wave and try and group with your team. Nuke this wave. Yeah, there you go. And then freeze the melee creep that the enemy creeps aren't, or the, you should have froze that guy instead, because he has more health.
I thought Oh, but I thought the range creep does like more experience.
Well, that's not important too much because they're only gonna throw out like 2 or 3 attacks. And it's more about killing the enemy wave quicker than preserving yours at this point.
Isn't the range creep to protect? Or is that what you're saying that it just does couple?
Well, it's just at this point it doesn't matter. Because you kill it so quickly and you're not worried about equilibrium, you just want it pushed out.
Gotcha.
And here you should be going... you can stay here and attack this tower. I'd activate drums, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I think it should. Oh, no, it doesn't. But... So, yeah, go up to the next wave and nuke it, and then you should probably nuke this creep wave that you were just at. And then if nobody shows up, you should go top now. Go top. Go top. TP to the shrine or the tier 2 top. You might die because you used that glimmer there. Yeah, there you used the glimmer cape when you weren't, nothing was really gonna happen to you and you used it, so you used your only defensive mechanism, to go in. But now you should probably be getting either a Force Staff or a Ghost Scepter. And you need detection for the Slark, so probably Sentry Wards. And you need to put the Tango is kind of useless, and the Clarity is also going to be useless for a while. So you need to have your TP scroll and your wards in your inventory and those in your backpack. Like I would have sold that Tango a while ago when you got your Tranquils. And this is just kind of like those items are more likely to be needed, like in a pinch. Here, you should be scared to go out because the Slark, but he showed, so you're fine-ish. It's kind of like this game, you don't really have many opportunities, so it's hard to say what you should be doing. But there's a lot of fundamental mistakes that I can point out later on. Nice, that guy sucks. I'd say at this point you should probably get an Atos, but because it's a turbo game, I'd recommend getting a Sheep Stick. Okay. Because you guys lack lockdown for... Like, all of them need to be locked down, and you don't really have the means to do that too well. Like, when the AM gets a Manta style, your Frostbite's not going to do anything to him. And here you should glimmer the timber.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not pointing out too much, but there's going to be a lot that we can go over after the game.
Okay.
You should rush up there. Try to. There you go. Nice, nice. You were kind of slow with the frostbite there. You needed to use that like right away. Ult, ult, ult. Nice, nice. You should have just used your spells instead of auto attack there.
I was trying to, but I don't know if they were cooldown or.
They were both up. Setting. Audio master. Yeah, at this point the game's kind of over. Like you guys don't really have a way to come back now. Cause like if you take a great fight, like your Zeus is gonna attack the tower, or like I guess the ogre can, but should buy out your sheep here. And you should know that Slark's Dispel doesn't work on sheep stick anymore.
Okay.
So that's a really good way to open on him. Because he can dispel other ones. So if your ogre falls up your sheep stick with a stun, it'll actually stick. So I'd sheep him like right away here. You should have sheeped him and then slowed him and then ulted there.
Gotcha. I think one of the problems is that I've never used any of these items, especially not with Cam. So it's kind of just the gameplay, like I totally lost. Because it's like
a lot of that is just you need more experience with it. So that's not too much that I can talk on.
Yeah.
Nice. I think you could have got him with that sheep stick, the AM, when he was TPing out.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
I think one really big thing that you need to work on is understanding what your hero provides and trying to stay on the edge of where you're useful, but you're also safe.
Okay.
So when a fight happens, all that matters is you getting your spells off, right? Like your right click doesn't matter at this point.
Right.
So trying to cast your spells and then get out of the fight, get out of the dangerous areas, and then wait for your cooldowns and then go cast them again is kind of how you should play a support in the later game.
Sure. No, definitely. I think part of the reason I'm like shit, and I'm looking at what I have, what I should use. Again, I've never used any of Jam.
Yeah.
So it's like, do I have again? Where is it? What is
Yeah.
I use? What order? Like, that's part of the.
Well, yeah, also this is me telling you to buy the items. If you yourself decided to buy the items, if you yourself decided to buy the items, you might be able to use them better because they're
Right.
you had a vision of why you
If
bought
I have,
them.
like, some more games using these items, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here you can't really do too much except for try to delay them. So just try to. There you should have just tried to done what you can to slow them down without dying, and keep doing that, and then wait for your team to revive. Because in 10 seconds it would be a 4v5 instead of a 3v5.
Right.
And there's no way that you're gonna stop a push 5v1, which is kind of what you tried to accomplish there.
Mm. Ogre buddy, stop running.
Alright, well that's good. The game's over, so we can watch the replay some, and I can point the stuff out. Don't defend or anything. So this ends quicker, so we have more time to talk.
I don't want to be one of those guys.
Glimmer, yeah, there you go. If she comes up into the range of, nice. You can force her. Forced effort. There you go. Try not to pull creep aggro. Feels bad. Alright. Hopefully this doesn't take too long to become available.
Okay. Probably shouldn't because it's shorter, right?
I don't know if it works like that, but hopefully, yeah. So I'm gonna start sharing my screen. And there's a lot of things to talk about. So it's going to be. I don't want it to become overwhelming because there's a lot of minor things that you're doing wrong that end up being huge. Right now we should set up your quick buy though. It's this hotkey right here that is your quick buy. And then you should, you definitely need to be using your quick buy because in the replay there's like a whole minute before 10 minutes where you're just like standing there accomplishing nothing because you want to get your item sorted out. But if you use time to, like, when you're running to a lane or when you just died or when you're TPing or something like that, if you use those times instead to deal with your items by putting them in your quick buy, you save yourself a whole minute in the first 10 minutes, which right there just makes you 10% more effective, and that'll win you some games. Come on. So do you have any questions on quick buy or anything like that?
Not really. I think I just have to play around with it and start getting used to it. Is it just clicking on an item and then hitting the quick buy button?
What was that?
Is it just clicking on an item and then hitting your quick buy button? That's what's in the quick.
Here, I can do this real quick because I think the replay is going to take another minute. So what quick buy is all about is you can, like, let's say I want wand, treads, and then blink this game. I can have them all lined up, and it takes me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So wait, how do you do that though?
You press Control and Shift, and then you can add extras. Does that make sense?
Like, so Control Shift and then you just click on what you want.
Yeah, you just left click it. And there's 8 slots for all of your components. And sometimes you, let's say you're a support and you want Tranquils and you want Urn in the early game. You can use this last slot if you want to be really good to ready up a ward or clarity or some shit. Which it's more effective for carries because you can do something like I want to get my Quelling Blade from the side shop, then my treads, and then if I run into any resource problems, I have these sorted out already, so I don't have to open the shop to find them.
But when you press F4, does it buy just the next one?
It buys the next one, and then if you don't have enough gold, let's say you have 100 gold, it will buy the clarity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if you have 300 gold, it will buy the Quelling Blade, and then you'll only have 100 gold left, and then you'll get the clarity.
Gotcha.
So it goes from order of... the first order is... It's basically what is the closest item. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right, in order of what's the closest that you can buy, the next that you can buy with window stuff.
Yeah. So I have unlimited gold, so it's going to buy it all in order. But if let's say I have 650 gold, it will get the Quelling Blade, the boots, and then the clarity.
Right.
Any questions on this?
Nope.
But yeah, this is a really good thing to do that you need to be doing every game.
Gotcha. And that you'd set at the beginning when you're in.
Yeah, you have a minute and a half before the rune spawn, so you can spend that time doing this.
Gotcha. But you should probably have it in your head what you want for, so you can get out of the room as quick as possible. But
well, the thing is, like,
you're gonna want to.
Let's say this is the base and this is the rune. I can like
Uh-huh.
click to go out, and then I can be like, all right, well, this game I want yada 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 yada, and your character's
Gotcha.
just running out while you're doing it.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
that's the same for like where is it? If you're running from like this rune, or it's, let's say you're the Radiant and you get this rune and then you run to get this one and then you want to go help mid or something.
Yeah.
You
While
can
you're going mid, you can go do your quick buy as well.
yeah. Like what else are you gonna do in this time?
Sure.
And you can even like be watching mid while you're doing it on the side. So you're gaining the, okay, he just casted this spell. So you can know that, like, maybe his blink's on cooldown or something. Magnus used Skewer, so it's on cooldown for 30 seconds. And you'll see that while queuing up that you want a million circlets or whatever.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And that's helpful because it, one, lets you, it gets you in the habit of thinking about what's going to happen in the first 10 minutes before it happens and what you need to counter it. It also saves you the time of the shop, and then also, if you're about to die, you can press your buyout button and not lose gold because you have reliable and unreliable gold, and then death cost, and your death cost eats into your unreliable gold. Your unreliable gold is from like last hits and like the clock just ticking, you just get like a gold a second or something around there. That goes to unreliable, and your death cost can only eat into your unreliable. So, if you buy out and you spend all of your unreliable gold, you'll die and you won't have a death cost. And what that means is maybe you get your, let's say, usually it's around 60 or 70 gold in the early game. But that can be like the difference between having a windlace and a TP or just having a TP. Which means that you're a lot faster and you might get a kill or whatever.
Sure.
And you saved the 50 gold. Reliable gold is from like, I think it's kills, Midas, might be bounty runes, and towers. I don't know the whole list off the top of my head, but...
Gotcha.
And your starting gold is, I think it's partially, what is your starting gold? Your starting gold is all unreliable. Okay.
How do you know if it's reliable or unreliable?
It says it right here.
Oh, gotcha. Cool.
So like right now, if you died, you would lose, here.
295.
Yeah. No, you would lose 66 gold. So right here, if you, where are you? If you die right now, you'll lose 66 gold. But when you get this windlace, the death cost will go from 66 to 45. And now that the time's ticking up, when
the death cost is still 66 though.
Yeah, but you didn't have 66 unreliable gold. So when your death cost is lower than your unreliable gold, it goes with how much unreliable gold you have.
When your death cost is higher than your unreliable gold.
Yeah, so it's
whatever.
It's always going to try and get the death cost, but if you don't have enough unreliable gold to cover the death cost, then you just don't lose as much gold. So, like right here, you will lose 45 gold, and then soon the gold will start. Now you'll lose 50. Now you'll lose, but then you hit the cap, and now you'll only be losing 67 instead of the 77.
Right.
And when you buy things, it goes from your unreliable gold first. So, let's say they were going to, let's say you had 200 reliable gold right now, and you had the 91 unreliable. If you bought out like a mango,
clarity,
something that's like 100 gold, then you
I'd have 0 unreliable, but I'd still have my 200 reliable.
Yeah, and then you don't lose any gold when you die.
Gotcha.
And here, it's kind of hard to harass him, but you don't really want to be doing this. You don't want to harass this guy when it's going to draw the range creep, because the range creep attacking you means it's not attacking your creeps, which means your creeps are attacking theirs, which means their creeps are going to die. Does this...
and it makes me get pushed towards their tower.
So let's say these guys do 20 damage per second. This guy does like 40. Your guys do 20, 20, 40, or whatever it is. So your creeps are only taking 40 damage per second, while theirs are taking 80, which means your creeps are gonna, their creeps are gonna die first, which means that your lane's gonna push towards here, which means you don't have all of this space to mess with the AM at. So if the tower's right here, or if the creep wave's right here, what are you gonna do to the AM that can just stand right here?
Right.
You like can't do anything.
I can't do anything, yeah.
Yeah. And you're taking harass from the range creep. And then here you should have casted your frostbite right away. Like right now. But you turn and you let him mana burn you. So not only are you taking the extra damage from his mana burn, but you're also not getting your spell off.
Right.
So you took an extra like probably 100 damage there. You didn't cast your spell on him, and he didn't take like 200 more damage, 300 more damage, whatever it would be.
Right.
And here I'd be like, alright, I'm useless without my clarity, so I'm just going to, or my mana, so I'm just going to clarity and run back over here, eat a tango, and then like hide out while I get my mana back.
Even though Zeus is like 2v1?
He should be backing.
But in this case, he's not, and you know he's not going to back?
This is like, you're playing wrong because he's playing wrong, and it's like, I don't want you to get in the habit of playing wrong because your teammates are playing wrong.
Right, okay.
And he dies anyways, so...
Yeah.
And here, there's nothing stopping you from... Like, if you're eating a tango, you should be standing, like, here-ish. Try and... If the Lena comes towards you, just run back. But you should try to, like, play cat and mouse with her to stay in the range of the experience.
Right.
Because that's a lot of experience for a support to just be missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you're missing for no reason.
Well, I also thought, like, there's an AM there, so like, it's still really vulnerable because he can blink at me at any time, and I was barely eating the tango.
Well, a lot of it is you ate the tango late.
Yeah.
So you would have been higher health. And if you play closer to the tower, yeah, it's just bugged, and it's saying you're eating it. But like you could be eating this one right now between your auto attacks.
Right.
And then this whole time you'd be healing up. You would be like 30 health higher, and AM's gonna, like, AM's low enough that if he blinks on you under tower, he's gonna die before you do. And then this is just a lot of running around. So what you should be doing here is, okay, there's two of them in the lane. I'm low. I don't really want to stay at the lane. There's nothing that's stopping me from getting these bounty runes right here. Because you see both of them here, and you're not too worried about, like, someone else just showing up here.
Right.
So you could be getting, like, 120 gold and 60 experience, and stopping them from getting 120 gold and 60 experience, which is a 240 gold swing and 120 experience swing, while you're using your clarity and your tango. But what you're going to accomplish instead is just kind of like sharing experience with the Zeus.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to try and be a little bit thorough with this, because I'm not going to be here for like another week after tomorrow, so you can watch this back and try and get a good week out of it.
Okay.
So here, yep, that's good. But you should immediately be going for their rune after you get this one. I would say even maybe when you ran down here, go straight for this one, because you're not at all worried about them taking this one,
Right.
but you are worried about them taking this one. And then it takes you a good bit to go for it. And then I would be looking to try and get like a ward like right here, because that sees if they back, or if they stay when they're low, or if somebody shows up to the lane, or if they're like making movements anywhere. The only movements that this isn't gonna catch is like if they move this way or this way, but it might catch them if they like go this way and then back up here. And the ward that I was trying to talk about before was this one right here. We can point that out later though. And this is the part where if you ran straight at him, and you TP, something I've noticed is you TP very defensively, which is good when you
need to, but right here I should have been more aggressive.
Yeah, you could have TP'd right here.
Yeah.
And then you would have been a second away from entering combat here, but instead it takes you from 506 to it takes you like 10 seconds before you take your first action on this guy, when it could have been literally 1 second.
Right.
I'm going to try to go through it quick because we're already past time, but I want to make sure we get this done. That was another example of you could have TP'd aggressively, but you TP'd defensively, and you would have been on top of them immediately. And here's another example of you wasted like 5 seconds messing with your shop, when you could have been like doing things while you already had your quick buy laid out.
Right.
There you use drums. I would be preserving my drum charges for pushing towers mostly, and then running away, because it's like your drum isn't doing anything here.
Right. Well, I thought we were gonna engage.
Well, you ran back while you were drumsing, and your whole team was running back while you were doing it.
Gotcha.
The ward's good. This is kind of like you waste a lot of time running away from the creeps. You could have just glimmered here, bought your TP. I would have sold the Tango, because you know you're not going to use it, and then you could immediately have your Tango in your backpack or your inventory without messing around. And then like to get rid of these creeps, you could have even just like ran up here, because how they work is they go to the last spot that they had vision of you, and if they don't see you, they leave. So like if you go up this hill, they'll lose you because the last time that they saw you was like right here.
Gotcha.
Unless they have a ward, then they might chase you.
Right.
But if they probably last saw you right here, so when they come here, if you're over here, they're not gonna see you again and keep following you.
Right.
And then here, if you're using the Glimmer Cape, you should just run over here, because then they'll run past, but you run with them. Which is more, like, a lot more time. And then this ward...
Why did I run the other way, though? Like, I was running that way because that's where the creeps were gonna find each other, and then I could, like...
Yeah, I was thinking you'd TP out somewhere. And this ward I don't really like, because this ward's gonna catch a lot of movement from here and here. And, like, the only that this is gonna catch that this probably won't is if they come this way. So it's a lot of overlapping vision. And I'd much rather see you place a ward here, so you basically see where most people are going to be running through, wherever they're going, except for mid.
Okay.
But this, instead, overlaps a lot with this one, and then you don't have anything top.
Yeah.
And then there's this small thing I still want to talk about. Here, this is where we had the little discussion. This guy has 524 health, this guy has like half of that. And this is gonna kill anything it touches, because it does like, what is that? It does 1,000 damage to a creep over the course of 10 seconds. So this is going to end up pushing a lot faster on this guy than this guy. So you can, because these guys are going to kill this guy off, you can right-click this guy or whatever, and then this is going to kill that guy off. And it's kind of like this guy's only going to throw out a few attacks, and he's even doing it on you. So it's not even hurting these guys, but you're not even really, like, if these guys die off, you don't really care too much. Because you're more worried about the entire wave being there instead of, like, one extra creep being there.
Okay.
And then here, you should probably be... you should have TP'd top. It was just hard to communicate, like, how to do it in the replay. I probably would have TP'd like here, because then he wouldn't have vision of you, and then you can glimmer this guy. If he keeps going. Just to save him, but you guys wouldn't be able to kill him. And this ends up being better, but it really shouldn't have, because they should have defended. And then you TP... This is another, you could have been right here instead, and maybe got the glimmer off on the Lich. And then here, you use the glimmer to initiate, and then you're caught out without any defensive spells or abilities. Imagine if you glimmered right here and just, like, walked away. You would have been fine. And if you walked in without the glimmer, you would have also done about the same exact thing.
Right.
So here, I would have probably ran in here and ulted. Because she has her stuns on cooldown. You could even just ult right here and kill her. But you kind of wait a long time. I guess you don't use your ult, which ends up being fine. And then you kill the Slark with it. And here it's kind of like, why not just throw your Crystal Nova or your Frostbite on him? Like, you should be checking his items, see that he doesn't have a blink, and then know that they're not going to kill you if you're just casting a spell and backing. But you let this guy take the whole tower without messing with him at all, and then right after the tower's dead, then you start casting spells. Whereas if you casted the spells first, he would have been taking more tower damage, your tower would have taken less damage, and you might be able to kill him. And here, if you just hit her with your Q...
That's because I was stunned. That's why.
Well, you had enough time to auto-attack and Glimmer. Auto-attack almost twice. You had enough time to.
Right.
And that's just kind of like... My thought process would be, I'm fucked anyway, so my only goal here is to kill her with my Q.
Right. With your Q?
Yeah, your Q does 500 damage. It would have killed her. Because you got the Crystal Nova talent. And in a regular game where you had a better team lineup, I would have got the Frostbite duration. Because at 25, you're really just like a disable. Your Crystal Nova damage is like nice for pushing and de-pushing. So it might be good in very specific games. But it's 90%, 95% of the time if you get... what the fuck? Oh, I didn't know I had a pause button. Okay, that's cool. 95% of the time, if you're level 25 with CM, you want to get the Frostbite talent. Because the 1.5 extra seconds makes this... you can 75% of the time lock someone down. And here you should have your TP in your backpack, or your inventory. And then here, you could have sheeped this guy, for sure.
I don't think I had vision on me, did I?
Yeah, you see him right here.
Oh, okay.
I was just kind of like, I guess it's like you're not also watching your minimap.
Yeah.
But you can see his face on the minimap the whole time.
Yeah.
You might have thought it was an illusion, I guess.
No, I don't think I even saw it. I think I was just watching.
Yeah.
What I was playing.
I got you. And then the game's over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so any final questions? We kind of went over a good bit there, but I think we talked about a lot of important stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good. There's lots of stuff I need to work on, especially the quick buy.
So, any final questions?
No, that's pretty good. Thanks, man.
Alright, so I'm gonna upload that. I'm gonna stop recording here. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube. Hopefully that